Alright guys, tonight we're going to talk about a couple different things. Tonight I'm going to get into politics. I usually wouldn't, but I don't know how you guys feel, but I kind of despise when people are like, yeah, he's a douchebag and so-and-so's no good and like down with him. I think that's actually foolish because we don't know those people. And so if you just allow yourself to be triggered so quickly and emotionally and just make your mind up in 10 seconds flat, to me, I just see that as being dumb. Now, I used to vote Republican because I thought the Republicans were smart with military stuff, financial stuff. You might remember years and years ago, we bailed out a company named Enron. Well, America wasn't always in the business of bailing out companies. That's a new thing. The new way they do it is just to install it. And I'm going to explain that, okay? But they do it from scratch. What happens is this guy gave a tax break, right? And that puts a lot of cash in the system. Because that's now cash that the companies, corporations, the big ones, C Corps, they don't have to pay that out anymore. So they know they have a lot more booty in the bundle to play with, so to speak. So what ends up happening is he came out with his company SpaceX and went public. Well, who do you think is investing in that, right? So you have a guy who he owns a company. He's got his name on it. They set what a share is worth, and he's basically saying to the public, I own a shit ton of those shares. So it's the kind of thing where it's not liquid. It's not like he can't pull up his $1 trillion is spread out over several different companies, and it's like he can't just pull all that money out and leave, or the companies would go flop. So here's how they do it. Instead of having a company like Enron go belly up and now the government, it's embarrassing and they have to go to Congress and pass bills and all this stuff, now they're just doing direct investment. By giving the huge tax break, what that did is that guaranteed that if you have a Rolodex and if you're a cold caller and you know people, you can get on the phone. And I never want to paint a false picture of Rothschilds in some smoky back room with like hoods on in a dungeon or something. That's like bullshit. This is happening downtown Monday morning. People are drinking coffee, chewing gum in broad daylight. This is not stuff that needs to happen in a secret society. This is shit that's like happening in broad daylight. Okay. But what they're doing is, by giving that huge tax break, that ensured that all we got to do is get the boys together. When it's time to back up Elon, get the boys together. Everyone's going to invest. It's going to be beautiful. It basically, all it is America investing in its own companies to make them look better, or to make them look like the best in the world. The biggest, the best. Okay, who wants everything to be the biggest and the best? Right? But regarding that topic, okay, we are in an era where it is about as dangerous as World War II. Not for the same reasons, but it is as intense. Because there's a lot that could go wrong. There's a lot of chance there. He's taking a big chance by doing this kind of a style of business. Okay, because think about it. All those guys get that tax break. They put all that money into SpaceX. Now it makes Elon look like a trillionaire. Now he can brag and boast and tell the world, like, oh, look at America's biggest investor. Like, he's the richest man in the world. A lot of it is projection because he can't pull that out. All right? And the thing is that in this modern era in society, okay, everyone's feeling controlled. All right, they're feeling like, the chips are stacked against the average person. The billionaires are just doubling and tripling their profits, and the trillionaires are popping up now. And you're right, that is what's happening, but it's because of the policies that got enacted. And like I said, I voted Republican because I thought like Bush was smart with military stuff, things like that. I had to get an education and learn. Not an education I paid for either. One that through reading, social media, and whatnot. And even if it is Dunning-Kruger, I still learned a ton from it. And I'm not projecting myself as like super knowledgeable. I just like to share in general. That's what I get out of this. I like to share what I know to be true. I like to try to share that, But yeah, this is it's a pickle. There's no doubt about it. Like, I'm not gonna say which side I'm on, who I like, who I don't like, but I can just tell you this: this period in history has been horrible. This is like the worst in 100 years. I mean, trying to get rid of posse comitatus, trying to get rid of habeas corpus, uh, indicting attorney generals. I mean, it's like, and again, like, I don't want to see a comment section that's like, yeah, screw him and da da da. That does us no good. You know what I mean? You can only just speak on the things that you feel are unjust, unworthy, or beneath the standard that you see. You know what I mean? But no one is a necessarily top expert. Like, I don't, when I hear something on social media or whatever, I don't just believe it instantly. You know what I mean? Because lots of times I'll want to go and hear the differing opinion and then come back to it and think critically about it. Then I'll make up my mind on it. But that initial trigger, that initial cue, that click when someone puts up a thing and says, so and so gave his brother lucrative contracts, and now you get this, oh my God, they're stealing from us. Or, like, I don't necessarily just let that happen, in a click like that. So you got to be careful. You got to mind your cues. Regarding narcissism being on the rise, projection is used by them a ton. So this does all sort of correlate and tie in to narcissism, okay? Because at the end of the day, who's wearing a mask, right? And why are they wearing it? Well, they want you looking here while they're over there, right? So keep your eyes open and tune in, like, and subscribe. We're going to do more of these. They're going to get more in depth as we go.